Hello, my dear Leo. Welcome back to Mind, Body, and Heart Tower Therapy. I always mess up the name. I don't know why. Right. So, welcome. I hope you're well. I'm here to do the reading for the month of September 2019 for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. And keep in mind that if it resonates, this reading, if it resonates with you, it resonates, and if it doesn't, then it's just not your reading. Don't try to fit it in. Use your own intuition and inner wisdom to discern the messages that are meant for you and let go of the rest. All right, my dear Leo, I hope you're well. I'm sending love to all the Leos out there. I have a few dear Leos in my lives and in my life, and thinking of them right now. All right, my darlings, let's see what's going on with you in September 2019. I'm gonna pull up 4 cards. The first will be your current energy. Okay, let's do that let's say that as we do it. Okay, so as your current energy, you have the Three of Cups, which in this deck is called Overflowing. This is the Heindel Tarot deck. I'm still rather new to it. I find it fascinating. Your challenge is the Two of Wands. All right. Challenge is more like, what is it that you're working on or with in terms of energy? And then your advice is the Eight of Wands. Beautiful. And where is this taking you? Is the Seven of Swords, which in this deck is called uselessness. All right. Let's see about that. And then bottom of the deck, you have the Two of Swords, which is called peace in this deck. All right. Now let's clarify these cards with the Universal Weight deck. Let's clarify these cards. So we have the Page of Wands with the Three of Cups as your current energy. We have the Five of Wands with the Two of Wands as your challenge. You have the Queen of Wands with the Eight of Wands as your advice, of course. And we have the Six of Wands with the Seven of Swords as your future energy. And so beautiful. We have the Ace of Cups with the Two of Swords as your theme, as your underlying energy. So let's talk about this, Leo. What's really going on here? So the Two of Swords in this deck especially talks about peace, talks about diplomacy, making peace with somebody in your life maybe, or with between different aspects of yourself. It's swords energy, so it's energy of the mind. Two talks about emotions though. So maybe making peace between your mind and your emotions. What is it that you feel and what is it that you think about what you feel? Your conclusions. But of course, like this inner conflict that you may bringing peace to can manifest outside of yourself with different people. So look at your conflicts right now and see how can you bring peace? How can you bring like your mind and your emotions at peace about the situation and about the people? Because whatever it is that's happening and we're manifesting outside of ourselves, whatever is being mirrored back to us, no matter how horrible some of these situations can be, and I have a lot of empathy for that. Don't get me wrong. In the end, the only power that we have is we can't control other people. We can't control how they're gonna act or how they're going to react, but we can control how we think and how we respond to the situation, the conclusions that we make about ourselves, and how we're gonna bring, like, taking responsibility for our own emotions. And the Ace of Cups is like your part, like coming with this together. And I think this is the answer. The Ace of Cups talks about the opening of the heart. It's like like feeling that love within. Whenever you find somebody like incredibly difficult in your life, or even yourself, when your mind becomes difficult and starts making fucked up conclusions and telling you weird stories about your worth and um, and your power, whether you feel powerless or whether you feel like a victim in a sense or another, or whether you feel like in whatever it is that you, I say feel, but it's more about thinking. If you think this stuff about your current situation, connect to your heart and remember that whoever is in your life right now and how shitty they can act, you can go beyond that and connect to that place of unconditional love, like for yourself and for them. That's not going to make them like absolve them of their responsibility or having you to take their shit. No, 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 this is not about this. It's like no matter what's going on, we understand that we are in this world having this human experience, and we're experiencing these things, whatever it is, with these souls that are part of our soul family one way or another, in order to learn and in order to grow. And we can feel that unconditional love for whoever that person is, and no matter how horrible or how acid their actions may be at the time, and understand that this is part of their journey and this is part of their conditioning, and they are working out of their own conditioning whether they realize it or not. And it's not really about me, so I can feel love for them as a soul, as a being who's been traumatized in so many ways just as we were, and not hold the grudge. That's the whole point, to not hold the grudge, and to not hold the grudge against myself either, and to have that place, find place for forgiveness and for unconditional love. It's the Ace of Cups. This is how you bring peace, by not fueling up the conflict, by not reacting in aggressive ways, but realizing that I can put my own boundaries and I can communicate peacefully what is it that I need, and not react in that fueling up the conflict way. And I can do that by connecting to my heart and connecting to that place of unconditional love. And we can have unconditional love for our parents, for our family members, for our lovers, for our children, for our friends, but we can also have that for absolute strangers, because we are all in this together. We are all in this together. We are having like the same story and over again. We just carry it in different ways and it manifests in different ways, but it's the same story of going into the world. When we are born, we are innocent, and then all these things happen to us, and we're carrying these energies and these energies and these energies, and this situation affects us in so many different ways. And we are all learning how to decondition ourselves from that one way or another. Some of us are more privileged than others to access certain information or to go through stages of healing that maybe others didn't have the opportunity to go through because they weren't I don't know, they didn't have the fortune to have the space or the time or the knowledge or the inspiration to do that. And yeah, it is a choice. It's always a choice. We all choose to do the things that we do, whether we realize it or not. But in so many ways, like, it's not about judging the choices, it's about understanding and empathizing and having compassion. And you have the overflowing, the Three of Cups with the Page of Wands here. So this is your current energy. You're finding that place of compassion. The three, you're overflowing with love and compassion here. You're understanding how to make peace by connecting to your heart, by opening your heart, and then you start feeling that love that flows through. And that brings like this beautiful, beautiful spiritual um opportunity for you. It's like the pages are like the aces. This it's new understanding of something, and it is just the beginning. It's like, wow, you start seeing this wand of power here, and you start understanding your power in a situation. You start understanding how you can grow based on what is it that you actually have, not what you lack, and how connecting to this place of unconditional love, which had always been there within you, but awakening to that and connecting to that helps you like share that with the world, and brings peace and brings you the sense of like, okay, I actually am not powerless in this situation. I have the power to love no matter what. I have the power to love myself no matter what. And as I love myself in the situation, I don't buy into whatever my mind tells me or the other people tells me about me, which are, I don't know, um, conclusions based on some emotions that we don't understand. We learn that I have the power to love and I have the power to forgive. These are amazing powers, and I have the power to be vulnerable without having to be weak. So you're getting to see your power here, which is really, really beautiful, Leo. And you know, Leo, like you are very loving energy. You have the possibility to connect to your heart quite a lot, to your inner child. Can be quite self-centered at times and controlling, and that's the thing with the two of wands here in this deck being called Dominion, and the five of wands here, which is has to do with conflict, has to do with competition, has to do with showing off. These are things that you do, and it is just part of your character in a sense, as your archetype. And it may be a little bit challenging to not be controlling, to not be competing, to not be showing off too much, and having that need for attention, that need to win, that need to be seen, mm, that need to be in the center of attention, in a sense. Um, that can be challenging, right? To work with this. And you know what? It's okay. I mean, you gotta make peace with that as well. This is part of your character, like it or not. It's there. You're carrying these possible traits, these traits within you, and it's perfectly fine to recognize them, to see them for what they are, to understand like what's behind this, what's always behind each and any automatic reaction or automatic response. It's a defense mechanism. It's a way, part of our survival skills, and they worked for you. We all need. They're like ways of figuring out what our basic needs are and responding to that, and giving some, well, having them fulfilled. And our basic needs is always to be loved, to be seen, to be cared for, to be part of the core of the family or of the tribe or something like that. And you love attention, and sometimes you can get like controlling or too much of this, which is fine as well. Look at it for what it is. Okay, I have compassion for that part of myself because I understand that what it needs is love. And you have the power now to give yourself love in those situations. So see, whenever you feel like over controlling and the need to show off and ask for attention, there's nothing wrong with that. You don't need to necessarily act in that sense, but see the need behind that behavior, and realize that, oh, I actually need to be seen. When I want to be seen from the outside, actually what I really want is myself to see certain parts of me as, and welcome them home and love them. When I'm seeking love outside of myself, normally, it's because I don't know how to love those parts of me. I'm showing them off and I don't know how to, or I'm showing the parts that I like so that parts that I don't like can be somehow included in that love as well. Um, and as you give yourself more love, you are able to connect with other people also from a place of love. As you have more tolerance and compassion for yourself, other people can have it for you as well, and you can have it for other people as well, which brings you to the place of peace, inner peace, outer peace. The more inner peace we have, the more we are able to show up in the conflicts that around us without fueling up the conflict. And then we have the Eight of Wands as your advice with the Queen of Wands. And baby, this is your energy. The Queen of Wands is Leo energy, and the Eight of Wands is Sagittarius energy, but it's fire, you know. Connect to your inner strength. Be aware of your power. You are very, very powerful. You have you're one of the most powerful signs in the sense that you have so much. You can move mountains with your heart. Once when you're connected to your heart, you have so much, like the fire that's burning through you. You can use it for amazing creative ways. The one's energy has to do with being creative and being using that for how are you going to use that, what are you going to create. We are all creators, but you know, some of us have more access to some of us seem to put more of that energy into action, and you do that a lot. And if you're connected to your heart, if you're connected to that place of love, then you can create something really, really fast. The the Eight of Wands, it's swiftness. It's something that happens really, really fast, and you are creating your reality. You're creating your it's like manifesting here, but being connected to your heart. Now you can create from your heart. That means that whatever happens, you can meet that with love and compassion. You can meet that with kindness. And your actions, the actions that you put into the world, can come from a place of self-empowerment and love and kindness. That means that I will not be touched by conflict. I will not be touched by other people's opinion of me or their reactions, because I understand what's in my power. I take full responsibility for my own emotions and my own reactions here. And I'm also compassionate with myself and the rest of the world, because I understand where they're coming from. And I understand that that's their journey and not mine. And yeah, we can have expectations and wishes and the need to control sometimes. But when I'm empowered, when I'm truly into the power of my heart, the power of the core of your being, then what you put out there, it's something different. It's not insecurity and the need for approval. It's love, and your actions coming from love only gonna bring forth more love. And what's coming to you is understanding this, like Seven of Swords, which in this deck is called uselessness. Is the uselessness of the mind. So, seven is about the physical reality, and the swords are about the mind. And you're starting seeing how like your mind is creating all these different personas and these different um you start seeing for what they are. They are masks. They are characters that we create in order to cope with our reality. What is like I'm delegating this character or this character or this character to deal with this situation, and these are coming as automatic responses, learned behaviors that come as defense mechanisms. But we understand like the moment that we are connected to the heart, the moment that we recognize our own worth and that we see how amazing we really are, then we understand the uselessness of these defense mechanism at this point. They're not working for you anymore. You don't need them anymore. They're useless. They start working against you if you keep them. You know, these defenses were put there for a reason. You needed them. These personas were needed in order to cope with different situations. When you go to school, you need to come into the persona that is sort of required of you, the character. Okay, I need to do this. I'm supposed to do this. I'm finding ways to cope with this. Maybe I'm restless, but I need to sit in a desk and for 5 hours or 6 hours and go through the lessons. How do I cope with that? I create like strategies. The mind does. Or if I'm at home, I'm told that I'm supposed to be like this or like this and like this. How do I cope with the things that are required of me and the things that I really want? And these are needed. These are protection mechanisms that they're needed at a point in time. Once we overcome, when we outgrow all those needs, we are not in the same situation anymore. We are understanding our power. We are not dependent on our um, caretakers or parents or whatever. We don't need to show up in the way that we are forced to show up in school or in public. Now we can choose. We can choose what we make of our situation and of what we make of our impressions and what we make about our reactions. And I'm not conditioned anymore by other people's expectations of me. I can see from myself how amazing I am. I don't need the teacher to tell me, "Oh my God, you've been great at this. Oh my God, you've done so well." I can do that for myself right now because I'm within the full power and maturity to do that. So these defense mechanisms of the mind, these workings of the mind are now useless for you, and you see it, and it's great. These compulsive behaviors of wanting to control or wanting to compete or wanting to show off, you know that these are part of your defense mechanisms and they're not working for you right now. They're useless. That's fantastic, Leo. That's great. Yeah. I'm so happy to see this reading. Okay, I'm gonna pull out a Rumi oracle card for you. For those of you that don't know, Rumi is a Sufi poet. So his poems come as the wisdom from the heart. He communicates straight to your heart. It's all about unconditional love. It's that wisdom and understanding that you're actually really grounding into right now of the universe based on the fact that we are love, and that's all what we need, love. And that's all there is. The rest are just defense mechanisms and personas and coping tools and so on that are probably not needed anymore. All right, let's see what is the message for my dear Leo. Al Uza, star of Venus. Okay. We'll read about this because I don't know really what that means, but star of Venus 26, that's an 8. Look at this lady sitting here in this red cloud. It looks like she's part of a constellation of some sort. It looks very. It's about the universal consciousness all the time. Okay, let's read the poem first before we even go to interpretations. I feel like this red has to do with being grounded, and you're being grounded into the star has to do with hope, and Venus has to do with love. So let's see what this is all about. So the poem says, I am the pure light, my son. I am not handful of worthless dust. Oh, sorry. I am not a handful of worthless dust. I am not just an empty shell. I am a regal pearl formed in this world. Leo, you are the royal sign. This is fantastic. And this talks exactly about this, like understanding that you are the pure light. You're not worthless. You've never been. And therefore you are fully empowered. You don't need to show off. You don't need to control other people's reactions or stuff like this. You don't need to employ these mechanisms that you had to employ before. I am a regal pearl formed in this world. Close your eyes to see and become aware of me. Perceive me with eyes that see the unseen. Come into the mystery to find me. I am a carefree visitor here for you. Rumi. Oh, okay. The star of Venus is the great androgyne, neither solely masculine nor feminine, but an integration of both. The power it bestows is mighty and based utterly in love. When this star seeks us out, multiple blessings are bestowed, and our spiritual growth can be accelerated in ways that may be quite dazzling and surprising to our more limited mindset and belief system. That's why your mindset and belief system, the mind right now, the Seven of Swords, is useless for you, right? And okay, let's go to the actual guidance. You know what? I think there's more to be read here. So this it has to do with like integration of the masculine and feminine into oneness. Men and women of this beautiful earth become capable of a new consciousness. It is of one based in love, of service to life, of letting go of judgment, stereotypes, and limited belief systems, and of opening up to compassion for all life. Oh my God, that's exactly what we were talking about, isn't it? As the consciousness is anchored, spiritual growth becomes rapid. This is not necessarily without some bumps and bruises. Letting go of all notions of what it is to be a man or a woman, to be masculine or feminine. Letting go of fear of women or men, of emasculation or victimization. Letting go of wounding are all great steps forward. They promise liberation, empowerment, and compassion, as well as peace and happiness, yet they are not easy steps to take. Great resistance can be invoked within you as an individual and also within the culture around you, which might find your notion of personal spiritual empowerment confronting and challenging to their culture of fear based enslavement of the soul. They would be right about it being confronting, but mistaken in assuming that confrontation is something to be resisted. It's part of your challenge here, maybe also confronting these parts of yourself. So what to do? Al-Uzza, the ancient shining one, also known as the star of Venus, holds much power and strength. Even a small blessing of her light is more powerful than the fear of thousands, if not millions of people. She is known as a worthy ally. This one here. She is known as a worthy ally in battle of any kind, even spiritual battle. You must, however, stay aligned with her way, which is not to fight fear with fear, hate with hate, or anger with anger. That's so fitting with this interpretation. Does this mean you should not feel fear, hate, or anger? Of course not. Venus denies no experience. So let yourself feel whatever you feel. The guidance is not to stop being human. Take the next step into the divine human, into allowing the star blessing to nestle in your heart, so you can shift as you feel the feelings, holding them with compassion, then choosing your own truths that resonate at a far more refined vibration. The rebellious passion of the star of Venus is that she seeks out whomever is ready to know more fully the truth of divine oneness. Whether the culture around them can acknowledge one of their own, becoming more enlightened as a blessing or not, it is a divine gift nevertheless. How liberating it shall feel to be truly empowered to live life as you feel is truthful, and to feel completely empowered to allow others to do the same with joy in your heart. Exactly. People have their own journey. We can't control their reactions. We can't control their journey. We need to allow them to have their experience for themselves with joy in your heart, that they are growing out of it one way or another. You understand that everyone is walking an unfolding path, and that we don't have to understand or justify the path of another to feel peace in our own hearts. Yes. If you are stumbling with judgment within yourself, do not fear. The blessing of Venus is coming to you to help you surrender it, to help you find your way through so that you can be free now. Your guidance then is to trust your path, trust your evolution, even in the face of those around you reacting to it possibly in fear or discomfort. Trust in the paths of others too. For in truth, there is one path and we are all on it. You do not have to convince anyone of anything. That is not your job. Your job is to embrace your wisdom, embrace your freedom and empowerment to grow spiritually and live your life accordingly. You are becoming, through bestowal of grace, something more of a goddess and a god, a human and a sacred animal integrated as one. This is sacred alchemy, my love. Amplified in the star fires of Venus, who loves you as a brother sister and honors your soul with her blessing. Shine true, beloved, shine bright. That is absolutely fantastic. I seriously feel like this is very coherent, and this card comes exactly in response to what we've been talking so far. So I hope it makes sense to you, my dear Leo. This is a beautiful journey you are on, and I'm so happy for you to get to experience what you're experiencing right now. So I hope this resonates with you. If it does, please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you here soon. Have a wonderful September, my dear Leo.